In the glittering expanse of the galaxy, where alien empires clash and ancient stars whisper forgotten secrets, a single hidden truth can ignite a revolution. Imagine a world where humans are dismissed as primitive myths, weak, fleeting creatures from a backwater planet. But what if that myth walked among you, disguised in alien skin? Dive into a tale of resilience, discovery, and the unbreakable spirit that proves why humanity endures, even in the shadows of the stars. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about strength, as one girl's journey from outcast to legend unfolds, reminding us that the greatest power often hides in plain sight. Lyra stepped off the hover shuttle onto the bustling grounds of Zorith Academy, her heart pounding like a distant supernova. The air hummed with the chatter of 100 different species, tall, tentacled Vexeri with their glowing eyes, squat, armored Krillix chittering in packs, and sleek, feathered Avorians gliding through the crowd. Zorith was the premier school for young elites in the Galactic Union, a place where future leaders learned to navigate politics, technology, and the stars themselves. But for Lyra, it was a battlefield. She looked mostly like a Thalorian, with pale blue skin, pointed ears, and iridescent scales along her arms that shimmered under the twin suns. Her mother had been a pure Thalorian diplomat, but her father, well, that was a secret buried deeper than the core of a black hole. Lyra's human half was hidden, her features softened by careful genetic tweaks and daily suppressants. Humans were rare in the Union, often seen as barbaric relics from Earth, a planet long isolated after the Great Isolation War. To admit any human blood would invite ridicule, or worse. As she adjusted her uniform, a group of Vexeri students slithered past, their tentacles whipping the air. "Look at the half-breed," one sneered, its voice a wet hiss. "Thalorians are supposed to be graceful. What's with those clumsy feet?" Lyra's steps were indeed a bit heavier, a subtle human trait she couldn't fully mask. She ignored them, clutching her datapad tighter, but the words stung like plasma burns. In her first class, Quantum Flux Dynamics, the instructor, a stern Krillix named Professor Grix, called roll. "Lyra Voss," he barked. Heads turned. "New transfer from the Outer Rim. Hope you can keep up. We don't tolerate weaklings here." Snickers rippled through the room. Lyra sat straight, her mind racing. She was smart, top of her class back home, but here, intelligence wasn't enough. Status mattered, and as a rim-worlder, she was at the bottom. During break, it escalated. In the communal hall, where students shared nutrient pods, a pack of Avorians cornered her. Their leader, Karail, preened her feathers. "What's a scaly like you doing here? Thalorians belong in museums, not academies." She flicked a wing, knocking Lyra's pod to the floor. Green slime splattered everywhere. Lyra knelt to clean it, her cheeks burning, but inside, a fire kindled, a human stubbornness her mother had warned her about. "Don't let it show," her mother had said. "Humans are emotional. It makes them targets." That night, in her dorm, Lyra stared at her reflection. Her eyes, a deep hazel instead of the usual Thalorian violet, hinted at her heritage. She popped a suppressant pill, feeling the familiar warmth as it dulled her human side. Faster healing, sharper instincts, but also the rage that could explode. "Just survive," she whispered. But survival meant enduring more. The next day brought worse. In physical adaptation training, students practiced zero-grav maneuvers. Lyra excelled, her human agility giving her an edge in quick turns. But when she outpaced a Vexeri named Zolter, he lashed out. "Cheater. No Thalorian moves like that." He tangled his tentacles around her ankle mid-flight, sending her crashing into the wall. Pain shot through her, but she bit back a cry. The instructor docked her points for poor control, ignoring the sabotage. Whispers followed her everywhere. "Freak. Impure. Go back to your rock." Lyra ate alone, studied alone, her only solace the hidden hollow diary from her father. "Humans adapt," he'd recorded before disappearing on a mission. "We turn weakness into strength." She clung to that, but doubt crept in. Was hiding worth it? One evening, exploring the Academy's restricted archives, Slipping past security with a hacked pass, Lyra found an old file on Earth. Humans had once allied with the Union, their ingenuity turning tides in wars. But fear of their unpredictable nature led to isolation. If they knew, she thought, would it change anything? A noise startled her. Kirail and her flock had followed. Trespassing half-breed? We'll report you. They shoved her against a console, feathers slicing her arm. Blood welled, red, not blue like Thalorians. She clamped a hand over it, heart racing. Close call. As weeks passed, the bullying intensified. Zoltar rigged her locker with a shock field, singeing her scales. Kirail spread rumors of her diseased blood, isolating her further. Lyra's grades slipped under the stress, her suppressants straining against surging human emotions, anger, determination. In a sparring class, when Acrylics pinned her unfairly, she flipped him with raw strength, drawing gasps. How did she do that? Murmurs spread. Lyra confided in no one, but a quiet observer noticed Aran, a fellow Thalorian outcast with a kind spark in his eyes. You're different, he said one day in the gardens. But different isn't bad. She almost told him, but fear held her back. Instead, she trained in secret, honing her hybrid abilities, human endurance mixed with Thalorian speed. The Academy's annual Unity Festival approached, a showcase of talents. Lyra signed up for the Innovation Challenge, building a device from scavenged parts, a human-inspired multi-tool that adapted to any environment. This could help Rimworlds, she thought. But on presentation day, Zoltar sabotaged it, causing a minor explosion. Laughter erupted. Typical Rim trash failure, Kirail crowed. Humiliated, Lyra fled to the rooftop observatory. Stars wheeled above, Earth's distant light a faint pinprick. Tears fell, human tears, salty and real. I can't hide forever, she realized. The fire inside burned brighter. Perhaps it was time to show them what half-human meant. But the bullies weren't done. That night, they ambushed her in the dorms, demanding she leave Zorith. Zoltar loomed, tentacles raised. Or we'll make you. Lyra's suppressants failed under stress. Adrenaline surged. She dodged, countered with a punch that cracked his exoskeleton. Shocked silence. What are you? Kirail gasped. Lyra situt, tal, sakaz gidistening. More than you think. The secret teetered on the edge, ready to shatter everything. Lyra's punch echoed in the dorm corridor, a crack that seemed to fracture the very air. Zoltar reeled back, his tentacle limp, exoskeleton splintered like fragile glass. The other bullies froze, Kirail with her feathers ruffled in shock, the Acrylics pack chittering nervously. Lyra's hand throbbed, but the pain felt alive, electric, a reminder of her father's words. Humans feel everything deeply, and that makes us fight harder. She didn't wait for their reaction. Bolting down the hall, she weaved through the Academy's winding passages, her heart slamming like a fusion engine. Alarms blared. Someone had triggered a security alert. Drones whirred to life, red lights scanning for intruders. Lyra ducked into a maintenance shaft, her scales scraping against metal. Think Lyra, she muttered. Human ingenuity kicked in. She hot-wired a panel to loop the cameras, buying time. By morning, rumors swirled like cosmic dust. She broke Zoltar's arm. Impossible for a Thalorian. Professor Grix summoned her to his office, his armored form clicking impatiently. Explain yourself, Voss. Assault is grounds for expulsion. Lyra sat rigidly, suppressing the urge to snap back. It was self-defense, she said calmly. They cornered me. Grix eyed her suspiciously. Witnesses say otherwise. You're on probation. One more incident, and you're out. Probation meant scrutiny. Classes became torture. Eyes followed her every move. Kirail, nursing her pride, escalated the whispers. She's augmented illegally. Or worse, mixed with forbidden genes. Lyra ignored it, focusing on repairs to her multi-tool for a second chance at the festival. In the labs, after hours, Aaron found her. I saw what happened, he said softly. You're not like us. Stronger. Lyra hesitated, then showed him a scar on her arm. Faded quickly, thanks to human regeneration. Promise you won't tell? He nodded, eyes wide. My father was human. Aaron gasped. Humans. They're legends, warriors who defied the Union. Lida similit faintly. Not legends. Real. And complicated. For the first time, she felt less alone. They worked together, Aaron providing Thalorian tech to enhance her device. It now purified water, generated shields, and adapted to toxins, a blend of human creativity and alien precision. But peace was fleeting. During a field trip to the nearby Nebula mines, where students studied resource extraction, the bully struck again. Zoltar, bandaged but vengeful, tampered with Lyra's mining suit. As they descended into the glowing caverns, her oxygen feed sputtered. Panic rose, but human adaptability shone. She rerouted the system manually, fingers flying over controls. Emerging gasping, she confronted them. Why? What did I ever do? Kirail sneered. You don't belong. You're a glitch in the system. The group advanced, but Aaron stepped in. Leave her alone. A scuffle erupted, tentacles lashing, feathers flying. Lyra fought back, her movements a dance of grace and power. She disarmed Acrylics with a swift kick, human muscle giving her leverage. The instructor intervened, but not before Lyra's suit tore, revealing more red blood. Gasps echoed in the mines. Back at the academy, isolation deepened. Students avoided her, fearing association. Even Aaron grew cautious. They're investigating you, he warned. Lyra delved deeper into her heritage, hacking into sealed Union records. She learned of the Isolation War. Humans had invented warp drives that outpaced alien tech, but their emotional volatility scared the Council. They locked us away, she read, anger building. But we never stopped evolving. The festival arrived amid tension. Lyra presented her rebuilt tool, demonstrating its uses before a packed auditorium. It worked flawlessly, drawing applause. But Kirail from the crowd shouted, "She's cheating with human tricks." Chaos erupted. Zoltar lunged on stage, grabbing her arm. In the struggle, her suppressant vial shattered. Energy surged, human traits unleashed. Her eyes flashed, strength doubled. She threw Zoltar off with ease, the crowd stunned. Professor Grix demanded, "What is this?" Lyra straightened, voice steady. "I'm half human and proud." Murmurs turned to uproar. Security drones closed in. Aaron yelled, "Wait! She's brilliant. Look what she's made." But it was too late. Lyra was detained, her secret exposed. In her cell, she pondered the fallout. No more hiding, she thought. The galaxy would learn what half-human meant. As guards led her to interrogation, a distant rumble shook the academy. Alarms wailed, pirates attacking the outer defenses. In the confusion, Lyra's cell unlocked mysteriously. Aaron appeared. "Come on, time to show them your side." Together, they raced to the command center, Lyra's mind whirring with plans. The revelation had begun, and, with it, a storm that would reshape alliances. The pirate raid hit Zorath like a meteor storm, ships slicing through the atmosphere with plasma trails. Sirens screamed as students scrambled to shelters, the academy's shields flickering under barrage. Lyra and Aaron dashed through smoke-filled halls, dodging debris. "How did you unlock my cell?" Lyra asked, her voice cutting through the chaos. Aaron grinned. "Hacked it. Your human tech inspired me." In the command center, Professor Grix barked orders at holographic displays. "Union reinforcements are hours away. We hold the line." But the pirates, rogue Vexery mercenaries, breached the outer walls, tentacles armed with disruptors. Lyra scanned the screens, her hybrid mind spotting patterns. They're targeting the power core. If it goes, shields drop completely. Grix whirled. "You, the half-breed, you're supposed to be detained." Lyra met his gaze. "Let me help. Humans are survivors. We improvise." Skeptical, he nodded. "Fine. But if you fail, it's on you." Lyra grabbed her multi-tool, now enhanced, and led a small team, including a reluctant Kirail and Zoltar, to the core. The corridors thrummed with explosions. Pirates slithered in, firing wildly. Lyra dodged a blast, rolling human style, then countered with her tool's shield mode. It absorbed energy, redirecting it back. A pirate crumpled. Ow! Zoltar gasped, his earlier grudge forgotten in fear. Human engineering, Lyra said. Adapt or die. They reached the core, a pulsing orb of energy. Pirates swarmed, but Lyra's team fought fiercely. Kirail used her wings to distract. Aaron hacked terminals to seal doors. When a pirate grabbed Lyra, she unleashed raw strength, twisting free and slamming it against the wall. Her scales glowed, human adrenaline fueling her. We can reroute power, she directed, fingers flying over controls. The tool interfaced seamlessly, stabilizing the core. But the leader, a massive Vexery warlord, burst in. Surrender the academy or perish. It lashed out, tentacles wrapping Aaron. Lyra charged, tool in sword mode, slicing through. The warlord roared, but she was faster, human instincts predicting moves. With a final thrust, she disabled its armor. It fled, the raid crumbling. As calm returned, the academy hailed them. Grix approached. You saved us. Half-human, perhaps we were wrong. Kirail, feathers singed, muttered, I misjudged you. Zoltar nodded grudgingly. Word spread. The half-breed was a hero. In the aftermath, Lyra addressed the assembly. Humans aren't myths. We're resilient, inventive. The Union isolated us out of fear, but together, we can be stronger. Applause thundered. Aaron stood by her, a new alliance forming. But shadows lingered. Union officials arrived, questioning her origins. Your father, was he the lost explorer? Lyra confirmed, piecing together his fate, captured during a peace mission. We need to find him, she resolved. As she gazed at the stars, Earth's light brighter now, Lyra felt whole. The bullying had forged her, revealing a truth. Humanity's spirit wasn't a weakness. It was the galaxy's greatest asset. Whispers of change rippled outward, challenging old prejudices. Lyra's heroism at Zorith rippled across the Galactic Union like gravitational waves, stirring debates in council chambers and cantinas alike. News holos buzzed. Half-human saves elite academy. Myth or menace? She became a symbol, but with fame came danger. Union enforcers escorted her to the capital world, Nexus Prime, for protection and inquiry. On the shuttle, Aaron sat beside her. They're scared of what you represent. Lyra nodded, her multi-tool humming in her bag. Good. Fear leads to change. Kirail and Zoltar, surprisingly, joined as witnesses, their attitudes shifted by the raid. You earned respect, Kirail admitted. Felorians value honor. Nexus Prime gleamed with spires piercing clouds, a hub of 1,000 species. In the Grand Hall, High Counselor Vex, an elder Vexery, presided. Lyra Voss, your human heritage violates isolation protocols. Explain. Lira Satutal. My father bridged worlds. Isolation breeds weakness. Humans offer innovation. She demonstrated her tool, adapting it to fix a faulty council drone midair. Gasps echoed, but opposition surged. Acrylic's delegates snarled. Humans are chaotic. Wars, emotions. Lyra countered. Those emotions fuel progress. We invented hyperdrives while you debated. Evidence mounted. Archived files she smuggled showed human contributions erased from history. Intrigue deepened. Spies from isolationist factions targeted her. One night, in her quarters, assassins struck, shadowy figures with cloaking tech. Lyra's senses tingled, human intuition alerting her. She fought back, tool in hand, disarming one with an improvised trap. Aaron arrived, blasting another. We need allies, he said. They sought out underground networks, dissidents who revered human legends. In hidden bars, Lyra met a grizzled Avorian veteran. Your father saved my squad once. He's alive, imprisoned on Earth's border. Hope ignited. With new intel, they plan a rescue. Back in council, Lyra testified, revealing manipulations. The isolation was a lie to hoard power. Riots sparked outside, supporters chanting her name. Zoltar testified too. She saved us. Humans aren't threats, they're saviors. A vote loomed. Isolationists sabotaged, hacking the Hall's systems. Chaos ensued. Lights out, drones rampant. Lyra rallied, using her tool to restore power, coordinating defenses. Her leadership shone, swaying doubters. The vote passed. Contact with Earth reopened. Cheers erupted. But the real battle began, journey to the border. With a small team, Lyra launched, facing asteroid fields and patrols. In a skirmish, her human resilience saved them, healing from wounds that felled others. Arriving at the prison asteroid, they infiltrated. Guards swarmed, but Lyra's hybrid skills prevailed. In a cell, she found her father, aged but alive. "Daughter," he whispered. "You did it." Embracing, she felt complete. Returning triumphant, Lyra addressed the Union. "Humanity isn't to be feared. We're partners." Alliances formed, bullying scars fading into strength. The galaxy evolved, HFY echoing through the stars. The reopened channels to Earth brought a flood of wonders and challenges. Lyra, now an ambassador, bridged the divide. Her father recovered, shared tales. Humans never stopped advancing. "We've got tech that'll blow your minds." Fusion of worlds began. Human AI with alien biotech, creating miracles. But old enemies lurked. Isolationists formed a rebel faction, plotting to reseal the borders. They struck at a peace summit on neutral ground, bombing the venue. Lyra dove into action, shielding delegates with her tools fields. "Not again," she growled, human fury rising. With Aaron, Karel, and Zolter, now firm friends, she tracked the rebels to a hidden base. Infiltration was tense. Stealth through laser grids, hacking secured vaults. Inside, they uncovered plans for a superweapon, a virus targeting human genes. Confronting the leader, a bitter counselor, Lyra argued, "Division weakens us all." He scoffed, unleashing guards. Battle raged. Lyra's agility dodging blasts, her strength overpowering foes. When the virus activated, she adapted her tool to neutralize it, saving everyone. Victory sealed unity. The Union flourished, humans integrated, their fuck yes spirit inspiring all. Lyra visited Earth, walking its vibrant cities, feeling home. Back in the stars, she mentored young hybrids, teaching resilience. Years later, at Zoreth, she spoke. "I was bullied for being different, but that difference saved us. Embrace it." The galaxy, forever changed, thrived in harmony, humanity's legacy enduring 0.16.1 sexpert in the wide open space of the galaxy, where thousands of different alien races lived and worked together. One small truth could change everything. Most aliens thought humans were just old stories. Weak, slow, gone from the universe for hundreds of years. But what if one of those stories was walking right among them, wearing the skin of another race? This is the story of a girl who looked like she belonged, but carried inside her the blood of the most surprising species in the galaxy. Her name was Lyra, and her journey from being laughed at and pushed away to becoming someone no one could ignore began on the very first day she stepped into Zorth Academy. Lyra stepped down from the silver hover shuttle. Her boots touched the smooth white stone of the landing platform. The air felt warm and smelled like sweet metal and fresh plants. All around her, students moved in every direction. Tall Vexery with long, glowing tentacles slid smoothly over the ground. Short, strong Krillix walked in noisy groups, their hard shells clicking. Beautiful Avorians floated a little above the ground, their bright feathers shining in the light of the two suns. Everyone wore the same dark blue uniform with silver lines on the sleeves. Everyone except Lyra felt like they truly belonged. She looked almost exactly like a Thalorian. Her skin was soft pale blue. Her ears came to gentle points. Thin shining scales ran along her arms and neck. They caught the sunlight and made small rainbows. But her mother had been a real Thalorian diplomat. Her father had been something else, something the Galactic Union did not allow anymore. Human. She had taken special medicine every morning since she was small. The medicine kept her human parts quiet. It made her eyes stay the right color. It slowed down the fast healing the humans had. It even made her heart beat a little slower so no one would notice. But today her stomach felt tight. Today was the first day at the best school in the whole Union. Zorath Academy trained the future rulers, scientists, and commanders. Only the smartest and richest got in. Lyra had gotten in because of her mother's name and her perfect test scores. But she knew the truth would be hard to hide. She walked toward the main gate. A group of Vexery students passed close to her. One of them, a tall one with bright green eyes, looked down and laughed. "Look at those heavy feet," he said in a wet, slippery voice. "Felorians are supposed to move like water, not like rocks." His friends laughed too. Lyra kept her head up and kept walking. She had heard worse things before, but hearing it here, in this perfect place, hurt more. Inside the huge main building, everything was bright and clean. Walls made of smart glass showed pictures of famous battles and peaceful meetings between races. Students hurried to their first classes. Lyra found her room for quantum flux dynamics. She chose a seat in the back row. The teacher came in. He was a big Krillix named Professor Grix. His shell was dark red and very shiny. He looked strong and angry all the time. He started calling names. When he said Lyra Voss, the whole room became quiet for a second. Everyone turned to look at her. "New student from the Outer Rim," Professor Grix said. "We hope you can follow our lessons. This is not a place for slow learners." Some students smiled in a mean way. Lyra felt her face get warm. She nodded once and looked down at her datapad. The lesson began. Professor Grix talked fast about how energy moved between stars. Lyra understood most of it. She had studied hard at home, but when he asked questions, he never looked at her. He called on the Vexery and Avorians in the front. They answered perfectly. Lyra raised her hand 2 times. He ignored her both times. At the end of class, he said, "Homework is due tomorrow. Anyone who fails will lose points. We do not accept excuses here." When the bell rang, Lyra stood up slowly. A tall Avorian girl with golden feathers walked past her. Her name was Karail. Everyone knew her. Her family owned 3 whole mining planets. She stopped and looked at Lyra. "You're the Rimworld girl, right?" she asked with a sweet smile that did not reach her eyes. "We don't get many like you here. Try not to slow us down." Then she walked away with her friends, their laughter following behind them. Lunchtime came. The eating hall was huge. Long tables floated a little above the floor. Food came out of machines in colorful pods. Lyra took 1 pod of green nutrient jelly and found a small table in the corner. She sat alone. No one came to sit with her. She ate slowly, watching everyone else talk and laugh. Groups of friends were already formed. She was the new one, the outsider, the one who did not quite fit. After lunch, there was physical adaptation class. This was the hardest part for Lyra. In this class, students learned to move in different gravities, to fight in zero air, to survive on damaged ships. Today, they practiced moving in zero gravity. The training room had no floor. Everyone floated. Small thrusters on their boots helped them move. Lyra was good at this. Humans had a natural sense of balance. Her body reacted fast. She turned and spun easily. She moved quicker than most Thalorians. That was a mistake. A Vexery boy named Zolter saw her. He was big even for his kind. His tentacles were thick and strong. He had been the fastest in the class until today. Now Lyra was faster. His glowing eyes narrowed. When the teacher was not looking, Zolter moved close. One of his tentacles whipped out and wrapped around Lyra's ankle. He pulled hard. Lyra lost control. She spun wildly and crashed into the wall. Pain shot through her shoulder. Everyone stopped. The teacher flew over. "What happened?" he asked. Zolter spoke first. "She lost balance. Typical Rimworld mistake." Some students laughed. Lyra said nothing. She rubbed her shoulder and floated back to her place. The teacher gave her -5 points for bad control. He gave Zolter +3 points for quick thinking. Lyra felt something hot grow inside her chest. She pushed it down. She could not let the anger show. Not yet. After class, she went to the medical room. The healer was a soft-spoken Thalorian woman. She looked at Lyra's shoulder. This should take days to heal, she said. But Lyra's shoulder already felt better. Much better. The human healing was working even with the medicine. The healer looked surprised. You heal fast, she said. Lyra similit weakly. Good genes, I guess. That night, in her small dorm room, Lyra sat on her bed. The room was plain. One bed, one desk, one window that looked out at the stars. She opened her secret hollow diary. It was the only thing she had from her father. A small blue cube that showed his face when she touched it. His face appeared. He had dark hair and brown eyes. Human eyes. Hello, little star, he said. His voice was warm. If you're watching this, things are hard. I know. But remember, humans don't give up. We bend. We break things. We fix them again. Better. You have that inside you. Never forget. Lyra touched the cube again. The image disappeared. She wiped her eyes. Human tears. Salty. Not like Thalorian tears, which were clear and thin. She took her medicine pill and swallowed it. The warmth spread through her body. Her heart slowed. Her eyes changed back to violet. Safe again. For now. The next morning was worse. In the hallway, a group of Krillix students blocked her way. One of them pushed her shoulder. Move, half-scale, he said. You're in our space. Lyra site put aside. They laughed and walked past. In the science lab, she worked with a partner. The partner was an Ivorian boy who did not want to be there. He kept his feathers tight against his body. He did not talk to her. When their experiment made a small mistake, he blamed her. Of course it was you, he said loud enough for others to hear. Rim trash. Lyra finished the work alone. She got a good grade, but no one congratulated her. During free time, she went to the garden area. Tall trees with purple leaves grew there. Small flying insects made soft lights. Lyra sat on a bench. She wanted to be alone, but someone came. A quiet Thalorian boy named Aaron. He had gentle eyes and pale scales. He sat at the other end of the bench. I saw what happened in the lab, he said. They were not fair. Lyra looked at him. It does not matter. It does, Aaron said. You are good at everything. They are just jealous. Lyra almost smiled. Jealous of what? I am nothing special. Aaron looked at the stars through the glass roof. I think you are. You move different. You think different. You do not give up. Lyra felt something strange. Someone noticed her. Really noticed. Not in a bad way. She wanted to tell him everything. But she could not. Not yet. Thank you, she said quietly. Aaron stood up. If you ever need help, find me. I do not have many friends either. He walked away. Lyra watched him go. For the first time since she arrived, she did not feel completely alone. But the good feeling did not last long. That evening in the dining hall, Kirail and her group came to Lyra's table. They stood around her. Kirail smiled again. That same cold smile. We heard you are very smart, she said. But smart is not enough here. You need to know your place. One of her friends knocked Lyra's food pod off the table. Green jelly spilled on the floor. Everyone in the hall looked. Some laughed. Lyra looked at the mess. Then she looked at Kirail. She stood up slowly. Next time, she said in a calm voice, ask me to move. I will. Kirail laughed. Oh, the Rim girl has a mouth. How cute. They walked away. Lyra cleaned the floor herself. No one helped. When she finished, her hand was shaking. Not from fear, from anger. The kind of anger that humans carried like fire inside them. She went back to her room and locked the door. She looked at herself in the small mirror. Her face was calm, but inside she felt different. Stronger. More dangerous. She whispered to her reflection. They do not know what I am, but soon they will. Outside the window, the two suns were setting. The sky turned deep purple and gold. Somewhere far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, humans still lived. Hidden, waiting. And one of them was here learning, hurting, and getting ready. Lyra lay down on her bed. She closed her eyes. Tomorrow would be hard. Tomorrow would be worse. But tomorrow she would be a little braver, a little angrier, a little more herself. And that was the most dangerous thing of all. The days turned into weeks. The bullying did not stop. It grew. Zoltar put a small shock device in her locker. When she opened it, blue sparks jumped out and burned her arm. The pain was sharp, but her skin closed fast. Too fast. A few students saw. They whispered. She did not even cry. Kirail started a rumor. Lyra has bad blood. Something wrong inside her. That is why she is so strange. Students moved away when Lyra walked past. Some made signs against bad luck. Lyra pretended she did not care. But every night she felt heavier. She started training alone. Late at night in the empty training rooms. She practiced moving in high gravity. She lifted weights that were too heavy for Thalorians. She ran until her lungs burned. Human lungs. Human strength. She felt it growing. The medicine could not hide it forever. One night, she found an old door in the lower levels. It was locked. She used a small tool she made herself to open it. Inside was a dark room full of old data files. Forbidden files. She found one about Earth. About the Great Isolation War. Humans had fought hard. They had invented things no one else could copy. Then, the Union got afraid. They closed the borders. They said humans were too dangerous, too emotional, too strong. Lyra read until her eyes hurt. When she left, she felt different. Not just angry, proud. She started a plan. Not for revenge, for truth. But first she had to survive. And surviving meant getting stronger every day. Strong enough that when the time came, no one could push her down again. Lyra woke up before the first light of the two suns touched the academy windows. Her room was still dark. She sat on the edge of her bed and looked at the small mirror on the wall. Her pale blue skin looked normal. Her violet eyes looked normal. The medicine was still working. But inside her chest something felt different. It felt like a small fire that would not go out. Yesterday, she had cleaned spilled food from the floor while everyone laughed. Today she decided she would not let that happen again. She got up and dressed in her uniform. She tied her long hair back tight. She took her data pad and walked out into the quiet hallway. Most students were still sleeping. Lyra liked this time. No one to stare. No one to whisper. She went to the lower training rooms. The ones no one used early in the morning. She locked the door behind her and started to move. She ran in place until her legs burned. Then she did push-ups until her arms shook. Then she jumped high and touched the ceiling. Thalorians could not jump that high, but Lyra could. She felt her human blood helping her. It made her muscles strong. It made her breathe deep. It made her keep going when normal people would stop. After 1 hour, she stopped. Sweat ran down her face. She wiped it with her sleeve. She looked at her hands. Small cuts from yesterday's shock device were already gone. Pink lines turned back to blue skin in minutes. She smiled a little. This was her secret weapon. They could hurt her, but they could not keep her down. When classes started that day, Lyra walked into quantum flux dynamics with her head high. Professor Grix was already there. He looked at her and said nothing, but his eyes stayed on her longer than usual. Lyra sat in the same back seat. Today, she raised her hand when he asked a hard question about energy waves. He looked surprised. He pointed at her. Lyra answered clearly. Her voice was calm. The answer was correct. Professor Grix nodded once. Good, he said. Some students turned to look at her, not with smiles, with narrow eyes. Zoltar sat in the front. His tentacles moved slowly. He did not like that Lyra got praise. After class, Zoltar waited in the hallway. He blocked her path. His big body filled the space. You think you're smart now? He asked. His voice was low and wet. Lyra stopped. She looked up at him. I was always smart, she said. You just never noticed. Zoltar laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. Careful, Rim girl. This place eats people like you. He moved closer. One tentacle came up like it wanted to touch her face. Lyra stepped back fast. Her body moved before she thought. Human speed. Zoltar missed. He looked confused. Lyra walked past him without another word. In the next class physical adaptation, they had a new exercise. They had to climb a tall wall in low gravity. The wall was made of smooth metal. No holds. Students had to use small suction gloves. Most of them slipped and fell. Lyra went last. She put on the gloves. She started climbing. Her hands stuck well. Her legs pushed strong. She moved smooth and fast. Faster than anyone. When she reached the top, the teacher looked up. Excellent time, he said. Putain point. From below, Kirail watched. Her golden feathers looked stiff. She whispered to her friends. She must be cheating. No Thalorian climbs like that. Lyra heard. She pretended she did not. She climbed down slow. When her feet touched the floor, Zoltar walked up. He pushed her shoulder hard. "Show off," he said. Lyra turned. She looked straight into his glowing eyes. "If you push me again," she said quiet, "you will regret it." The whole class went silent. Zoltar blinked. Then he laughed loud. Big words for a small girl. But he did not push again. Not that day. Lunchtime came. Lyra took her food pod and went to the corner table again. This time Aaron came. He sat across from her without asking. He had a soft smile. "You were amazing on the wall," he said. Lyra looked at him. "Thank you." Aaron opened his pod. "They're talking about you. Some say you're different." "Not in a bad way." Lyra ate a small bite. "Different is dangerous here." Aaron nodded. "I know. I'm different too. My family lost everything in a mining accident. They say I do not belong." Lyra looked at him closer. "You are kind. That is rare." Aaron smiled bigger. "So are you." Under all that quiet, they ate together. For the first time, Lyra did not feel alone at lunch. After they finished, Aaron said, "If you want, we can study together sometime. I'm good with history. You're good with everything else." Lyra thought for a moment. "Okay," she said. "Tomorrow after class." Aaron looked happy. He stood up. "See you then." The afternoon classes passed slow. In the engineering lab, Lyra had to build a small energy converter. She worked alone. Her partner from last time asked to change groups. Lyra did not mind. She liked working alone. She finished early. Her converter worked perfect on the first try. The teacher gave her full marks. But when she left the lab, Karail waited outside with 3 other Avorians. They stood in a half circle. "Nice work," Karail said. Her voice was sweet like poison. "But we know you are hiding something." Lyra stopped. "Hiding what?" Karail stepped closer. Her feathers opened a little. "Your blood. It is not clean. We can smell it." Lyra felt cold. She knew what Karail meant. Thalorians had blue blood. Humans had red. If they ever saw her bleed, they would know. "I do not know what you're talking about," Lyra said. Karail smiled. "We'll find out. Soon." They walked away. Lyra stood there. Her heart beat fast. Too fast. She took deep breaths. She had to be careful. More careful than ever. That night, she went to the garden. The purple trees looked silver in the moonlight. She sat on the bench. Aaron came a few minutes later. He sat beside her. "You look worried," he said. Lyra looked at the stars. "They're getting closer to the truth." Aaron was quiet for a moment. What truth? Lyra thought hard. She wanted to tell him. But fear stopped her. "Nothing," she said. "Just school things." Aaron did not push. "If you ever want to talk, I will listen." Lyra looked at him. His eyes were kind. "No tricks. No lies." "Thank you," she said. They sat in silence. The night wind was cool. For a short time, Lyra felt safe. But safety did not last. The next day, in the dining hall, it happened. Lyra was getting her food pod. Zoltar walked past fast. He bumped her arm hard. The pod fell. Hot liquid splashed on her hand. It burned bad. Lyra pulled her hand back quick. A small cut opened on her finger. Blood came out. Red blood. She saw it. Bright red. Not blue. She covered it fast with her other hand. But Zoltar saw. His eyes got big. "What is that?" he asked loud. Students turned. Karail came close. She grabbed Lyra's wrist and pulled her hand up. The cut was already closing, but the red drop stayed on her skin. "Red," Karail said. "She has red blood." The hall went quiet. Everyone stared. Lyra pulled her hand away. She looked at all the faces. Shock, fear, disgust. "She is not pure Thalorian," someone said. "She is mixed," another said. Lyra felt the fire inside her grow big. She could not hide anymore. But she was not ready. Not yet. She turned and ran. Out of the hall. Down the corridors. Into her room. She locked the door. She sat on the floor. Her hands shook. Tears came. Salty, human tears. She opened the hollow diary. Her father's face appeared. "Little star," he said, "if they find out, do not be afraid. You are stronger than they know. You are human. And humans never break easy." Lyra wiped her face. She stood up. She looked at the mirror. Her eyes were still violet. But they looked different. Harder. She whispered, "No more running." She took her medicine, but this time she did not feel the warmth the same way. The fire stayed stronger. The next morning the academy was different. Students whispered when she walked past. Some pointed, some moved away. Professor Grix called her to his office. He sat behind his big desk. His shell looked darker than usual. "Is it true?" he asked. Lyra stood straight. "What?" "Your blood. Red." Lyra looked at him. "Yes." Professor Grix took a long breath. "Do you know what this means?" "It means I am half human," Lyra said. The teacher looked shocked. "Humans are forbidden? The Union sealed them away for a reason." "I know the reason," Lyra said. "Fear." Professor Grix stood up. "You cannot stay here. Not like this." Lyra felt her stomach drop. "You will expel me?" "Not yet," he said. "But you are on strict watch. One mistake, and you are gone." Lyra nodded. "I understand." She left the office. In the hallway, Aaron waited. "I heard," he said quiet. Lyra looked at him. "Are you afraid of me now?" Aaron shook his head. "No, I am proud of you." Lyra felt something warm in her chest. Not fire, something softer. "Thank you," she said. They walked to class together. Heads turned. Whispers followed. But Lyra did not look down. She looked forward. That afternoon in training, Zolter came close again. This time he did not push. He just stared. "You are a monster," he said. Lyra looked at him. "Maybe," she said, "but I am your monster now." Zolter stepped back. For the first time he looked small. Lyra kept walking. Her steps were steady. Her back was straight. The bullying was not over. But something had changed. Lyra was not hiding anymore. She was waking up. And the galaxy would soon see what a half-human could really do. In the days after that, the academy felt like a different place. Some students avoided her. Some watched her with open mouths. Corral and her group stopped coming close. But Lyra knew they were planning. She could feel it. She started to use her skills more. In class, she answered questions loud and clear. In training, she moved like no one else. She did not hide her strength anymore. She showed it. One day, in the zero-gravity room, she saved a Krillix student who lost control. She caught him before he hit the wall. The student said thank you. Quiet, but real. Word spread. The half-human is not weak. Some started to talk to her. Small talks. Questions. Lyra answered honest. She did not tell everything, but she did not lie. Aaron stayed close. He became her first real friend. At night, she trained harder. She built new tools in the lab. Small things. Useful things. A light that never died. A shield for small blasts. She kept them hidden. For now, she knew the real test was coming. The Unity Festival was close. A big event where students showed their best work. Lyra had an idea. Something big. Something that would show everyone what humans could do. But first she had to survive the days ahead. And survive she would. Because she was half human. And that half was the strongest part of her. Lyra walked through the academy corridors with her chin up. The whispers followed her like shadows. Half human. Mixed blood. Forbidden. Some students stepped aside when she passed. Others stared openly. A few even smiled small secret smiles when no one was looking. The news of her red blood had spread faster than a solar flare. Everyone knew now. There was no going back. In the morning class, Professor Grix did not ignore her anymore. When he asked a question about flux stability, he looked straight at her. Lyra answered clear and correct. He nodded. No pras. But no criticism either. It was something new. Progress. During break, Aaron met her near the garden entrance. He carried 2 nutrient pods. One for him. One for her. They sat under the purple trees. The leaves rustled soft in the wind. "How do you feel today?" Aaron asked. Lyra opened her pod. "Strange. Like everyone sees me different. But I am still me." Aaron ate slowly. "Some people are starting to respect you. I heard a Krillix say you climb better than anyone." Lyra looked at the sky. "Respect is better than fear. But they still fear me too." Aaron nodded. "Fear the unknown. Humans are the unknown." Lyra thought about her father. The hollow diary messages. The stories of Earth. Humans who built ships that flew faster than anyone thought possible. Humans who laughed in the face of danger. Humans who never gave up. "I want to show them," she said quiet. "Not just tell. Show." Aaron looked curious. "Show what?" That being half-human is not a curse. It is a gift. They finished eating. Before they stood up, Aaron said, "The Unity Festival is in 2 weeks. You should enter the Innovation Challenge." Lyra had already thought about it. "I will. I have an idea." Aaron smiled. "Tell me." "Not yet," Lyra said. "But soon. I need to build it first." That afternoon, Lyra went to the engineering lab after classes. The lab was quiet. Most students left early. She liked it that way. She pulled out her tools. Small pieces of metal, wires, energy cells, a broken scanner from last year. She started to work. Her idea was simple but powerful. A portable adapté. Something that could change to fit any situation. Need clean water on a dead planet? It makes water. Need a shield in a fight? It makes a shield. Need light in the dark? It gives light. It would learn from the user. It would grow, like a living thing, but made by hand. She worked late. Hours passed. Her fingers moved fast. Human fingers. Steady and sure. When the lights dimmed for night cycle, she stopped. The device was half done. It looked rough, but it worked a little. When she touched it, the small screen glowed soft blue. It said ready. Lida simidit. This was her human side, making things from nothing, fixing problems, creating hope. She hid the device in her bag and left the lab. In the hallway, she met Zoltar. He stood alone. His tentacles hung loose. No anger in his face, just something else, something like doubt. "You really are half human," he said. Lyra stopped. "Yes." Zoltar looked at the floor. "I thought you cheated. In training. In everything." "I did not cheat," Lyra said. "I am just different." Zoltar was quiet for a long time. Then, he said, "I broke your arm once. In zero gravity." "You tried," Lyra said. "It did not break." Zoltar looked up. "Why did you not fight back harder?" "Because I was hiding," Lyra said. "Now I am not." Zoltar nodded slow. "I do not understand humans. But I do not hate you anymore." It was not an apology, but it was close. Lyra walked past him. Her steps felt lighter. The next days were hard but different. Kirail still led her group. They still whispered, but they did not touch her. They did not knock her food. They watched from far, like hunters waiting for the right moment. Lyra kept training. Harder, faster. She ran the obstacle course in record time. She lifted weights no Thalorian could lift. Students gathered to watch. Some cheered quiet. Some looked afraid. Professor Grix called her to his office again. This time he was not angry. "Your grades are high," he said. "Your skills are high, but you're on probation. Remember that." "I remember," Lyra said. He looked at her long. "Humans were once allies. Long ago, before the isolation. I read the old files. They were brave. Too brave sometimes." Lyra felt surprise. "You read about humans?" "I'm a teacher," he said. "I read everything, even forbidden things." Lyra it. "Be careful," he said. "Some in the Union still hate humans. They will come for you if they think you are a threat." Lyra nodded. "I know." She left the office thinking. The Union was big, powerful, but it was also afraid. Afraid of change. Afraid of strength it could not control. That night she worked on the device again. It was almost finished. She tested it. She spoke to it. "Make water." A small cup appeared. Clear water. Perfect. She drank. It tasted good. She spoke again. "Make shield." A soft blue field appeared around her hand. Strong. She hit it with her other hand. It held. She smiled big. This would be her entry for the festival. This would show them. But before the festival came trouble. It started in the dining hall. Lyra sat with Aaron. They talked about the device. Quiet. Private. Kirail came close. She stood behind Lyra. "We know what you are building," she said loud. Everyone heard. Lyra turned slow. "What am I building?" Kirail smiled cold. "A weapon. Something to hurt us. To prove humans are dangerous." Lyra stood up. "It is not a weapon. It is a tool. To help." Kirail laughed. "We do not believe you. We told the council. They're sending inspectors." Lyra felt cold inside. Inspectors. From the Union capital. They would take her device. They would take her. They would lock her away. Aaron stood too. "She is not lying." Kirail looked at him. "You defend her? You will fall with her." Aaron did not move. "Then I fall." The hall was silent. Everyone watched. Lyra looked at Kirail. "You think you win by fear. But fear makes people fight harder. Karail turned and walked away. Her friends followed. Lyra sat down. Her hand shook a little. Aaron put a hand on her arm. "We will protect it," he said. "We will protect you." Lyra nodded. But she knew. Time was short. The next night, she hid the device in a secret place. A small room behind the old archives. No one used it. She locked it with a code only she knew. She trained more. She prepared. If they came, she would fight. Not with anger. With everything she had. The Unity Festival arrived fast. The academy was decorated. Lights everywhere. Music played soft. Students showed their projects. Art. Science. Combat skills. Lyra's turn came in the main hall. A big stage. Hundreds of people watching. Teachers. Students. Visitors from other worlds. She walked up with her device. It looked simple. Small metal box with a screen. She placed it on the table. The judge was an old Avorian. "Show us," he said. Lyra touched the screen. "This is the adaptive multi-tool. It changes to help in any situation." She spoke. Water. A cup appeared. People whispered. Light. A bright beam shot up. Clear and strong. Shield. The blue field appeared. She invited a student to hit it. The student was acrylics. He hit hard. The shield held. No crack. People clapped. Some stood up. Then, Karail stood from the crowd. "It is dangerous," she said loud. "She is half human. Humans are banned. This is proof they want to control us." The hall went quiet. The judge looked at Lyra. "Is this true?" Lyra looked at all the faces. She saw Aaron. He nodded small. "Yes," she said. "I am half human. My father was human. My mother Thalorian. But this tool is not for control. It is for help. For everyone." She looked at Karail. "You want to hide me. You want to hide what humans can do. But hiding makes us weak. Together we are strong." Silence. Then a voice from the back. "Zolter." He stood up. "She saved me in training once. When I fell, she caught me. I would have been hurt bad." Another voice. "Acrylics girl." She answered questions no one else could. More voices. Small at first. Then louder. "She is good. She is smart. She is strong." The judge raised a hand. "We will decide later." The festival continues. Lyra stepped down. Her heart beat fast. She had said it. In front of everyone. No more secrets. Aaron met her at the side. "You were brave," he said. Lyra smiled small. "I was scared. But you did it." They walked out together. Outside the night was clear. Stars bright. But in the shadows someone watched. A tall figure in dark clothes. Not a student. Not a teacher. Someone from the union. They had come early. The inspectors were here. Lyra felt it. Like cold wind on her skin. The fight was not over. It was just starting. That night in her room, Lyra sat with the hollow diary. Her father's face appeared. "You did good, little star," he said. "But now they know. They will come. Be ready. Humans do not run. We stand." Lyra touched the image. "I will stand," she said. She turned off the light. She lay down. Sleep did not come easy. Tomorrow the inspectors would question her. Tomorrow they might take her away. But tomorrow she would show them more. She had the tool. She had her friends. She had her blood. Half Thalorian. Half human. All strength. And she was ready to use it. The academy felt different after the festival. Some students came to her. Asked questions. Wanted to see the tool. Lyra showed them. Careful. Only small things. She did not want trouble. But trouble was coming anyway. The next morning 2 inspectors arrived. Tall Vexery in black uniforms. Their tentacles had gold bands. Signs of high rank. They called Lyra to the main office. Professor Grix was there. The headmaster too. Everyone looked serious. The lead inspector spoke. "Lidavos, you admit to human blood." "Yes," Lyra said. "You built a device using human ideas?" "Yes." The inspector looked at her long. "Humans are isolated for a reason. Their emotions, their unpredictability, their danger." Lyra looked back. "I'm not dangerous. I help." The second inspector spoke. "We will take the device. For study." Lyra felt anger rise. "No." The room went still. "You refuse?" the lead inspector asked. "I refuse," Lyra said. "It is mine. I made it. To help people. Not to hurt." Professor Grix spoke. "She has done no wrong." The inspector turned to him. "She is a violation of law." Lyra stepped forward. "Then, change the law." The inspectors looked surprised. Lyra continued. The isolation was fear, not reason. Humans are not monsters. We are people, with good, with bad, like everyone. Silence. Then, the lead inspector said, "We will report this. You stay here, under guard, until we get orders." They left. Lyra looked at Professor Grix. "Thank you," she said. He nodded. "You spoke well. But be careful. The Union does not change easy." Lyra left the office. Aaron waited outside. "They took nothing?" he asked. "Not yet," Lyra said. They walked to the garden, sat under the trees. "We need to hide the device better," Aaron said. Lyra agreed. "And we need more friends." Aaron smiled. "We have some already." That evening a small group met in the old archive room. Aaron, 2 Krillix, 1 Avorian. Zoltar came too. Quiet. But there, Lyra showed them the device. They tested it. They smiled. They asked questions. "We can help," 1 Krillix said. "We know people," the Avorian said. "My uncle is in the council. He does not like the isolation." Zoltar said nothing. But he stayed. Lyra felt hope. Small, but real. The guards watched her. But they did not stop her from moving. Not yet. She trained. She built. She waited. And she planned. Because she knew the day would come when she had to fight. Not with fists. Not with weapons. With truth. With proof. With everything a half-human could give. And when that day came, the galaxy would listen. The inspectors left the academy that afternoon. But they did not go far. 2 black shuttles stayed parked on the landing platform. Guards in dark uniforms walked the halls now. They watched Lyra. They watched everyone who came near her. The air felt heavy, like a storm was coming. Lyra went back to her room after classes. She sat on her bed and looked out the window. The 2 suns were low. The sky turned orange and purple. She thought about her father. She wondered where he was, if he was still alive, if he knew she was safe, or in trouble. She opened the hollow diary. His face appeared, older than before. Tired eyes, but still kind. "Little star," he said. "If things get hard, remember this. Humans do not wait for permission. We take chances. We fight for what is right. Even when the odds are bad. You have my blood. Use it." The message ended. Lyra closed the cube. She stood up. She had to move. She had to do something. That night she slipped out after lights out. The guards were few. They did not watch every corner. Lyra knew the back ways. She went to the hidden room behind the archives. The device was still there. Safe. She took it out. She held it in her hands. It felt warm, like it knew she needed it. She tested it again. Repair. She spoke to a broken light panel on the wall. Small arms came out of the device. They fixed the wires. The light came back on, bright and steady. Lyra similed. This was her proof. Not just words. Real action. She hid the device again. Then, she went to find Aaron. She knocked on his door soft. He opened it quick. His eyes were wide. "They are watching," he whispered. "I know," Lyra said. "We need to talk. Somewhere safe." They went to the garden. The purple trees hid them. No cameras there. They sat on the bench. "The inspectors want the device," Lyra said. "They will take it tomorrow. Or me." Aaron looked worried. "What do we do?" "We show everyone first," Lyra said, "before they can stop us. In the main hall, during morning assembly." Aaron thought, "It is risky. They can arrest you." "I know," Lyra said, "but if I hide it forever, nothing changes. People need to see what humans can do, not hear stories. See it." Aaron nodded slow. "I will help. I will tell the others." The next morning the academy gathered in the big hall. All students, all teachers. The headmaster stood on the stage. He spoke about rules, about order, about the Galactic Union. Then the lead inspector stepped up. He was tall. His tentacles moved slow and sure. "Students of Zorith," he said, "a serious matter has come to our attention. One of your own has broken the law. She carries forbidden blood. She has made forbidden technology. We will take her into custody today." Gasps filled the hall. Eyes turned to Lyra. She stood in the middle row. Her heart beat hard, but her face stayed calm. The inspector looked at her. "Lyra vos. Step forward." Lyra did not move. Instead, she raised her voice. "Before you take me, I want to show you something." The hall went quiet. The inspector frowned. "You have no right." "I have every right," Lyra said. "You judge humans without knowing them. Let me show you." She took the device from her bag. Small. Simple. Everyone saw it. This is not a weapon, she said. This is help. She held it up. Adaptive multi-tool. Watch. She spoke clear. Heal. A soft green light came out. She pointed it at a student in the front row. He had a small burn on his hand from training. The light touched the burn. The skin closed. Smooth. No escar. The student looked at his hand. His eyes went big. It is gone, he said. Whispers grew. Lyra spoke again. Protect. A blue shield appeared around her, wide enough for 3 people. She invited Aaron up. He stepped inside the shield. The inspector raised a hand. Stop this. But Lyra kept going. Clean. A small cloud came out. It took dust and dirt from the air. The hall smelled fresh, like after rain. Light. Bright beams filled the room. No shadows left. Water. A clear stream poured into a cup she held. She drank. It is pure. People started to stand. Some clapped. Some cheered quiet. The inspector looked angry. This is dangerous. It could be used wrong. Lyra looked at him. Everything could be used wrong. Ships, weapons, power. But this is made to help, to save lives, to make things better. That is what humans do. We see problems. We fix them. Silence. Then Zoltar stood up. She saved me. In the mines. She could have run. She stayed. Acrylic's girl stood. She fixed my suit. When it broke, I would have died. More students stood, one after another. They told small stories. How Lyra helped. How she shared notes. How she never gave up. The headmaster looked at the inspector. These are facts. The inspector tentacles shook. She is still forbidden. Professor Grix stepped forward. He had never done that before. The law is old. The fear is old. Look at her. She's one of us. She studies with us. She trains with us. She saves with us. The hall filled with voices. Not loud, but steady. Let her stay. She belongs here. The inspector looked around. He saw faces. Not angry. Not afraid. Curious. Hopeful. He spoke into his communicator. Quiet words. Then, he looked at Lyra. We will not take you today, he said. But this is not over. The council will decide. He turned and left. The guards followed. The hall exploded in cheers. Students rushed to Lyra. They touched her shoulders. They smiled big. Even some teachers clapped. Aaron hugged her. You did it. Lyra felt tears. Human tears. She wiped them fast. Not yet, she said. But we started. That afternoon, everything changed. Students came to her. They asked to see the device. They wanted to help build more. Lyra said yes. She taught them. She shared ideas. Kirail stayed away. But she watched. From far. Her face was hard. But her eyes looked different. Not hate. Something else. Night came. Lyra went to the rooftop observatory. Alone. Stars filled the sky. Earth was a small dot. Far away. She thought about her father. She hoped he was proud. She heard steps. Zoltar came up. He stopped a few feet away. I was wrong, he said. About you. Lyra looked at him. It is okay. He looked at the stars, too. I thought humans were weak. Stories. Myths. They are not, Lyra said. Zoltar nodded. I see that now. He turned to leave. Then he stopped. Thank you. For not giving up on us. Lyra watched him go. She felt something new. Not just strength. Understanding. The next days were busy. The academy talked about nothing else. Half human. The tool. Change. New students joined the group. They worked in the labs. They built more tools. Small ones. Big ones. All helpful. Lyra led them. She did not want to. But they asked her. She said yes. One evening, Professor Grix came to the lab. He watched them work. You're doing good work, he said. Lyra looked up. Thank you. He stepped close. I have news. From the council. Lyra felt cold. What? They're sending a team. To talk. Not to arrest. To talk. Lyra breathed out. Good. Professor Grix looked at her. They want you there. In the capital. To speak. Lyra felt surprise. Me? Yes. You. And your friends. And the device. Lyra looked at the others. They nodded. I will go, she said. Professor Grix smiled small. First time she saw it. I thought you would. The days passed fast. Preparations. Packing. Training. Talking. Lyra worked on the device more. She made it better. Stronger. Safer. She also thought about Earth. About her father. She wanted to find him. She wanted to bring him home. But first the capital. The shuttle came. Big. Silver. With union marks. Lyra stepped on with Aaron. Zoltar came too. 3 Krillix. 2 Lavorians. Karel did not come. But she watched from the platform. Her face was blank. The shuttle lifted. The academy grew small below. Stars waited above. Lyra sat by the window. She looked at the galaxy. She was not just a student anymore. Not just a half-breed. She was a voice. A bridge. A beginning. And she was ready. The journey to Nexus Prime took 3 days. The shuttle was quiet. People talked soft. They planned. They hoped. Lyra trained every morning. She kept her body strong. Her mind sharp. At night she dreamed of Earth. Green fields. Blue oceans. Cities full of light. Humans walking free. She woke with fire in her chest. She would make it real. On the 3rd day they arrived. Nexus Prime was huge. Towers touched the clouds. Ships flew everywhere. Lights never stopped. They landed on a high platform. Guards waited. Not angry guards. Polite ones. They took Lyra and her friends to a big building. Tall windows. Gold floors. Inside the council chamber waited. A round table. Many seats. Different races. Old faces. Serious faces. The head counselor stood. A tall Vexery woman. White tentacles. Wise eyes. Lyra Voss, she said. Welcome. Lyra stepped forward. Thank you. The counselor looked at the device in her hands. Show us. Lyra did. She showed everything. Heal. Protect. Build. Clean. Save. The council watched. They asked questions. Hard questions. Lyra answered honest. Then she spoke. Long, clear. Humans are not your enemy. We never were. We made mistakes. But so did everyone. The isolation hurt us. It hurt you too. You lost our ideas. Our courage. Our hope. She looked at each face. Let us come back. Not as prisoners. As friends. As partners. Let us show you what we can do together. Silence. Then the head counselor spoke. We will vote. Tomorrow. They left the chamber. Lyra felt tired. But good. That night in the guest rooms, Aaron said, You were perfect. Lyra simidet. We all were. Morning came. The vote. They gathered again. The counselor stood. The council has decided. The isolation ends. Slowly. Carefully. But it ends. Cheers filled the room. Hugs. Tears. Lyra felt the world change. Right there. But the counselor looked at her. There is more. We have news about your father. Lyra froze. He is alive. In a hidden station. Near the old border. Lyra's heart jumped. Can I go to him? The counselor nodded. Yes. With a team. You will bring him home. Lyra felt tears again. Happy ones. She looked at her friends. They smiled big. The galaxy was opening. Doors were unlocking. And Lyra was walking through. Stronger. Braver. Half human.